Peace and blessings, Mr. 1000 Reps here. Just want to welcome you back to the denofpain. Over the weekend, we took a little time and we made some rearrangements to make it a little bit more comfortable. As you already know, I told you one of the things I like about the denofpain is that a lot of the equipment that we have can be moved. So with that said, just kind of refresher. Remember the Vander? So we didn't really move anything with the Vander, so we left that where it's at. But I added a new dip station. So in order to make room for the dip station, which basically just another device that allows us to move it around. And what I really like about this one too is that it's adjustable, so I can bring the dips closer, in and out. So basically you just pull the tab and then it just has this bar here. I can also take the bar out completely and just use them independently. I think this is really important because when we do our Australian pull-ups, one of the things about the Australian pull-ups is that the wider your grip is, the more your lats you're working out. The tighter it is, you're getting some lats, but you also work out your pecs a lot. So to really isolate those back wing movements, we want to make sure we have a wide grip. Previous to this, I was using what came on the Vander, which is the dip bars up against the wall. And those are like a V shape. If you see them back there up against the wall behind the bench, they're like V shaped. So you only have this one specific setting. And then also depending on how high or low, you have the bottom of the Vander too. And so in order to kind of eliminate that and give us the opportunity to even place our legs even higher by using my plyo box, I thought this was really great. I bought it from macbid.com, which is something that's specific here in Arizona. They have different warehouses. I think they have one in Nevada as well, but it's a total of only 4 warehouses. So you kind of bid, and I found this by luck. Off the same MacBid, I ended up getting this TV stand. So my wife and I, when we do the row motion, we like to have something visual. She likes to put like water flowing and some music. You know, I might put some classical music. And so I really didn't want to drill into the wall. So what I ended up doing is I bought this stand from MacBid, and then I put the TV, a leftover TV we had in the living room. So now I can actually just take this piece here, drop it, and now as I'm doing my rowing, I can actually watch TV. And you know, it's really easy. It moves from side to side. It doesn't adjust up and down. It's a fixed height, but who really cares, right? The whole point was to have something that we could kind of just play back and forth with it, as well as I can also now play music in the background. I haven't connected it to a sound system or anything. I'm not trying to get that fancy. The point was just having, you know, visual that we can do while we're spending 15, 30 minutes on the rower. Let's go ahead and bring the rower back up. All right, beautiful. Now, I went ahead and I moved my weight stations or the different stands that we have. We have this vertical stand, and then we have your regular, you know, weight tower here. And so I put pretty much all of the heavier weight that we normally use for our dumbbell exercises, our bar exercises, and single weight exercises. And then I put the bigger bumper weights here, as well as some other heavy weights like the 35s and the 25s. Just gives us more access to be able to move around. This bench right here, I have it up for sale on an offer up. It came with the Vander. It's a high capacity bench. It's 1,000 pounds. But I already have my Cybex one that's over 1,000 pounds. And for me, I like it flat. This one has a little bit more of like a lower portion here that's wider. And it's not my liking. I like just a flat bench. Also, if I want to move the bench out and do some of my abs or some dips, you know, as you see here with the Marcy, it's just flat. I like that. And so that bench, the Cybex one, even though it's older, it is a commercial bench that I use, and I've had it for several years, and it's been nothing but love for me. So I'm not losing anything between the two because neither of the two benches do decline. So it's mostly flat or incline. In addition to that, I moved the bench from one side to the other just to give us a little bit more flexibility, like I said. And once this bench is out of the way, pretty much I'll have this whole section here where I can remove the the curl station out of the way and have an open section to do jump rope. I can do, the skips. I can do push-ups, just different variety of exercises on the more calisthenic variation. I have my leg station now. So this was on the other side, but it was compromised because it was so close to the Vander. So now we just kind of flipped it over this way. Remember, this station moves around. So I have the ability to take this completely out of the way and the curl machine completely out of the way. And now I have this whole entire front that I can use when there's multiple people in the Den of Pain working out. Also, the box is completely usable and movable as well. So because of that, if I ever open up the garage door, now I have a whole entire section that I can use as well as extending it out into the driveway. Which, by the way, I have been doing a new workout that I learned from one of my co-workers. He basically is like a frog jump into a burpee. I'm going to be doing it tomorrow. I'm older, so my knees hurt a little bit from doing the workout, so I have to use a knee brace. I'm not ready for it today, but that in combination with the skips has really, just given me a full leg workout like I've never had. So the gentleman that I work with, he told me he was doing 300 yards. So basically you get into a frog jump and jump as far as you can get. So wherever you get to, and then whenever you land, you just drop down and do a burpee. So what I've done is from the back side of the gym, I will frog jump and burpee all the way to the sidewalk and back. I haven't fully measured it, but I'm under the impression that it's probably about, I would roughly say 200 feet. And if you do the math, if it's 3 feet to every yard, then that's roughly 200 divided by 3. Let me see, that's 6, 18, 2, 6. So that's about 60 to 70 yards, more or less. Let's just call it 60 yards, right? So I would have to go from the back of the gym to the sidewalk and back to do a full football field and then a little extra, So that's kind of the goal, to be able to do that. Right now I can go all the way to the sidewalk and I can do that 3 times. So in combination, let's say that I can do roughly about 180 yards right now, but it is grueling. But once again, that's only one way. So I'm hoping to be able to get to at least there and halfway back for roughly, 100 yards and do that 3 times. We'll see what the body looks like from there. Lastly, before we finish the video, the weight management. Taking the V-Cut nutrition, making smaller portions of food, doing a better balanced meal between vegetables and some protein from fish. I didn't eat meat, red meat like lamb or beef since 1998, so that's a lot of years. So for me, it's just been chicken, fish, and turkey. I kind of cut the turkey completely out, minimize the eating of the chicken, and seldomly eat the salmon, maybe twice a week, if that, only because I work out as much. But by having that reduced, saturated and trans fat consumption, and also reducing my meal size and kind of balancing the way that I'm eating, I can happily say that I've maintained my weight between 183 and 185 depending on what I eat. So doing a lot of vegetables and incorporating the proteins, the unsaturated fat, as well as just making sure that my portions of meals are smaller, I've kept 20 pounds off. That's a lot for me, and I'm still trying to get to my ideal weight of 175 pounds, which right now I'm roughly about 8 pounds off of that, 7 pounds off of that. And I also want to reduce my body fat to like 4.5% to 5%. Right now I'm roughly around 8%. So once I get there, we'll see what I look like incorporating all these workouts as well. So with that said, stay tuned for our next video, Mr. 1000 Reps, the Den of Pain. Don't forget, keep repping. Peace.